people are sharing things someone did that turned a first date into a last date, and I definitely understand.
We here at the Last and Nice Best podcast do not condone selling or imbibing of cocaine, no matter how awesome it is.
Number 10, at dinner, he shared with me that he didn't believe in washing his hands after going to the bathroom as long as the toilet paper was used effectively. Hand washing was obsolete. He said all of this while licking his fingers and digging into a shared basket of appetizers.
The human race is divided in two distinct sexes, male and female. While the typical man is a simple creature, there exists a subgroup, the nice guy, a dying breed of chivalrous, romantic, domesticated gentlemen whose qualities are desired by the opposite sex, allegedly. However, they are dismissed and confined in such concepts as the bestie, work husband, and the dreaded friend zone. Joe, Jason, and Manny are the last of the nice guys.
Oh, I'm doing this? Oh, okay. Hey, guys. Wait. Hey, guys.
I don't know if that was surround sound or you falling off a building, but
I fell and then it came back up. I get knocked down and I get up again.
You're never gonna keep me down. What was that like early 90s?
Oh my god! I just went nostalgic.
90s, the naughties, or what they call it.
So welcome everybody to another episode of the Last of the Nice Guys podcast, brought to you by Kellogg. No, I'm just playing. That's brought to you by us. I do like cornflakes. I like corn pops. Anyways, I am spearheading this episode for some strange arranged reason because I guess stuff. We're trying something new. So hi, I am Manny, and that guy is Jason.
Well,
say hello, Jason.
I want to be very clear. The way I have my screen,
I'm pointing away.
Yeah, no, I'm below you. So
okay, this guy.
There you go. That's much better because
on my screen you're right here.
Well, yeah. But so when we're recording, you're just pointing off into like the distance or whatever.
So there you go. This guy somewhere he's here. That's right. Jason. So we want to do a funny episode today because you know we do that every now and then. So we have a Yahoo Life article titled "People are sharing things someone did that turned a first date into a last date," and I definitely understand. Again, the article comes from Yahoo Life from last year sometime. I don't care what the date.
Was it last year sometime? Well,
yes.
Yeah, December 31st. But it's still the link is still active, and the link will be in the description box below.
See. So, having said that, I guess we're just gonna jump right into it.
That's right. Number one.
This dude spent the whole date talking about how he used to sell cocaine.
We here at the Last and Nice Best podcast do not condone selling or imbibing of cocaine, no matter how awesome it is. Wow. Listen, here's the thing, though, and let's be reasonable. There is no way that this didn't come up or that there weren't red flags before you went on a first date. Nobody just walks in and says, "I sell cocaine." There had to be something shady about this person beforehand. Like you knew this makes sense, you know.
How do you start that. It's like, hey, first thing I want to let you know something about me. All right. So since we're on that page, you shared about yourself, right? You like long walks on the beach. I figured that I should tell you I used to sell cocaine.
Here's the problem with that, though. What did you do to make you feel comfortable enough to be able to spend the whole entire first date talking about selling cocaine? Because listen, the first date, what do you do on the first date? You're padding your resume. You're trying to impress them. Somehow he got the impression that talking about how he used to sell cocaine to you is appropriate, would impress you.
Oh my God. Like, can you, you know what? And I wasn't just selling little baggies. All right. I used to sell kilos.
Okay. I had those bricks.
I had those bricks. You ever seen those, the drug movies like it's Bad Boys #1?
Yeah, you ever seen Bad Boys 1 or Bad Boys 2?
Yeah, those bricks of cocaine. I was one of those guys.
Okay.
It's based on my life. But I ain't got caught yet.
I sold him that story. Okay, I'm getting residuals. Oh my God, that's funny.
That's definitely a date breaker. Number 2.
No, but before you go to number 2, she said the dude spent the whole date talking. Yeah. So that implies the passage of time. At what point do you not say, okay, I'm ready to go home? You know, you see what I'm trying to say? It's just the whole date. I have to assume it's 2-3 hours, right? That's after maybe the first mention, second mention, maybe you want to say, I think I want to go home. I'm not really feeling this. Anyway, go to number 2.
Number 2.
Yes, I'm judging this person.
Number 2, I was planning a first date with this guy years ago, and he suggested bowling. I said it was fine, but I'd done it once a few years prior and was legitimately terrible at it. The group I was with at the time, this is a fucking story. Yeah. The group I was with at the time made it fun regardless of my being totally uncoordinated. Okay. He offered to teach me, but I said another time. I just wanted to get to know him in a relaxed environment. Okay. He suggested that we still bowl minus the lessons, and he could also share in hilarity of my lack of skill. I was done.
That sounds like me. That absolutely sounds like me. I would absolutely say something like that. Carry on. Sorry.
I was done. The night came and the lesson started almost immediately. How to stand, where to stand, everything that I'd been doing wrong. I'm not taking it seriously, and he's trying to teach me for my own good. He became mean. Not one smile except when he saw me at the start. I told him this was not the fun, chill night I said I was looking for, and he told me it would be if I took the game more seriously. He was actually angry the whole night. Wow.
Okay. That part's not me. I would get as far as telling the person, listen, I need to see this. It's hilarious. Let's just go anyway. That's it. After that, that definitely doesn't sound like me. It's funny because why did she go? Clearly she didn't want to go. You know, she didn't want to go bowling. Clearly she didn't want to go bowling. So why did you go? But you know what? At least, because that's a red flag. And then I ask again, ladies, unless you really all avoid that coin, what part did you not say I'm ready to go home? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because again,
and you stayed the whole night.
That's what I'm saying. Context clues. The whole night. And when you hear whole night, it implies passage of time. I said, why did you stick around? Especially when you got need. I'd be like, you know what, dog? I'm out. I was just being polite. To who? To what? Why? That's crazy though. Poor girl.
Yeah, that sucks. I mean, listen, I again, like Jason said, to make it a fun night because they don't know how to bowl or whatever the case is that you're doing. It's one thing. It's another thing to turn into a whole teaching session and you're not doing it right.
Berate
you're
them and belittle them. And apparently you're taking bowling quite seriously. I wonder if you did like that cross leg thing, you know that form?
Yeah,
I tried doing that. I tried doing that once and I fell. I think I got a few pins though, but I did fall as I tried to do the cross leg thing and then I like kind of twisted around and fell. Good times. I miss. Damn it, what's the place called? Splitsville. Splitsville was great.
I don't even know what that is.
That is, you been to iPick?
Yeah.
Okay, it's the bowling version of iPick. So basically, it's a lounge. You can order dinner and you can drink and you can also bowl. And it's really, and after a certain amount of time, it only becomes only for adults, and it's happy hour. That was one of my go-to places for dates and for like hanging out. It was great.
That sounds cool.
But it closed down during the pandemic, and then it's gone. Never came back.
It's got too adulting.
It's in other it's in other states though, but it left Doral. Oh well. Number 3.
Right, number 3. A few years ago, met up with a guy at a bar, and the entire time he would not stop talking about how he couldn't wait to go to Russia and get a mail order bride. Wow.
Context clues entire time. Here's the thing. If each one of these is going to be where a guy said something and you're going to end the story with whole time, entire date, whole date, I'm going to be saying the same thing over and over again. Why did you stay? Why did you stay? Like, what was the point of that? You know, unless you're telling me that person was your ride. And I'll say this right now, women, women don't really do that anymore. Actually, honestly, believe it or not, they either expect you to Uber them there, which I find stupid because I would get your address anyway, or they meet you there. That's the new thing now, as a guy who's formerly dating. 2, if you did ride with the person, wouldn't you think you'd have money to escape at the very least? If not money to make sure you pay your own bill, but money to escape, to be able to take an Uber and get out of there, or a taxi and get out of there. So that's not an excuse. I won't take that as, oh my God, but he drove, so I was stuck there. You weren't stuck there. You should have had some money.
Yeah, there's no excuse of it nowadays, especially with Uber and everything. So
yeah, maybe he was joking though. Maybe he was being. I mean, because who goes to on a date and starts saying like you know what I'm saying? Like maybe he was trying to be fun. Maybe he was a funny guy, and it didn't land properly. Or
I can't wait to go to Russia and get me one of them bitches. I want to get married.
So the girl would say what then? That's great. Congratulations. Why are we here? That should be the question.
Why are we talking about this?
No. Not even why we're talking about this. We're on a first date, right? And you're talking about finding a bride in Russia. Why are we here? You know, and that'd be the first question to ask. I mean, then why are you on this date with me? You know,
because people are stupid. So some men are just toxic, so toxic masculine that they just I don't know. They don't realize that they're stupid.
No, of course, but at the same time, there are follow-up questions you ask. Logical follow-up questions. Why are we here? Would be one of them.
And I'm sure there's a lot more not being said, but
clearly,
whatever.
Yeah, clearly.
Number 4. She was still married and said she just wanted to know if she'd be able to still get dates if they split up. Worst date ever.
At least that's honest.
Honest? I just want to know if I still got it.
Somebody said this to me recently. Wanted to make sure that she's married, and she wanted to make sure she still got it. She wanted to go out by herself without her husband. I forget who told me. She wasn't looking to pick up anybody, but she wanted to see could she still get hit on, and she succeeded. So that made sense. You know, I see that. That's really crappy though to actually go on a date, have a guy spend coin on you when clearly you're not ready or you're not there yet, and you're a test subject. You're like the guinea pig. I'd have been like, cool story. I'm gonna go use the restroom. I'll be right back, and I would actually leave. I would leave.
Yeah, I don't.
For him as well. Worst date ever means you completed the date. Why were you still there after that? There are follow-up questions, as in, okay, cool. So this is a test? Is that what you're doing? I gotta go.
Yeah, I would have left in the middle of it too. Stupid. Number 5.
5.
He was about 10 years older than his pictures, and he kept pressuring me to go back to his place. I noped the fuck out of there. See, now this is a good one. This is a good one.
That's the point. That's well.
I noped the fuck out of there. That's hilarious.
And that is honest. And that is the way you handle these kind of things. Just get out of there.
Yep. You know? He 10 years older than his pictures, so it clearly is a partial catfish.
Yeah.
And then he pressured me to go back to his place. Yep. That's how you handle these situations. Yep. Nope.
And you leave. And I bet you she drove herself or whatever. She was able to get out of there. That makes sense. Funny. You go, girl.
Yep. Number 6, he suggested something for me on the menu, but I wasn't feeling it. I ordered, and he grabbed the waitress as if she tried to walk away and said, no, she'll have the blah, blah, blah instead. Thanks. And let her go. And that was it. It didn't even occur to him that she wouldn't listen or that I'd be pissed. I walked right out of the restaurant. See, another.
The little lady will have the Caesar salad, hold the Caesar dressing, because holy crap.
Yeah, that's
stuff. This is a perfect example of how art imitates life, because you see these things in on TV, but they clearly do happen, and that's crazy. The fact to be a guy like that and think that you can just tell the girl what she's gonna eat on the first date, red flags. But what did she do? She walked right out. Good girl.
And that's what you're supposed to do. Good girl. I've done that, I will say, jokingly, but I ordered what the girl wanted.
Oh, okay. So you
so it wasn't right. It wasn't like, oh, what do you know what you want? Yeah, I think I'm gonna have this. Don't worry, I got this. The lady will have blah blah blah, and then you're so funny.
See, I'm a jokester. I'm flirt. I'm a jokester. I've never used that joke. It's something I've always wanted to do, and when when you're ready to do it, you get jacked up, and when the time comes, you gotta just like, what do you want? Trust me, a few days I was like, oh, the hell with it. Not that I'm never gonna see this girl again, but I'm like, let me have fun. I've always wanted to do this to get their reaction, but I never would always chicken out at the end. So I've never actually done it, even jokingly.
Just like if they order like a drink or whatever, I'm like, you should card her. Just saying.
That's different. That's more.
You should
funny.
Card her.
Yeah.
I'm like, obviously with these grays, I'm old enough, but you should card her. Did you heard the kind of drink she ordered, right? That's not a normal drink. You should card her.
Fantastic. Yeah, I've done those. I've done that, but the lady will have.
Yeah, that's
because women don't have senses of humor anymore. I'm sorry. Yeah. I just say.
I mean, it depends on the person. I've engaged when I've done the dating thing in the past.
But that was like 2 decades ago. The world was different then.
Yeah, I guess.
Now you wouldn't get away with that. They would meet you the hell out of you. Oh, you'd be like, I'm just joking. I was just joking. Are you serious? That's not funny. You don't take away my autonomy.
We'll see. Maybe I'll go on a prank date sooner or later, and I'll let you know how that goes.
That would be great.
We should go on a prank double date and be like,
yeah, we already did that. It was
neither. No. I mean, like,
it was a prank to me.
I'd be like, neither one of us are actually interested in dating the two of you. We just want to know. It's gonna be so bad.
We just want to know if we can still get it.
We want to know if we can still get it.
We can still get it if we really want to do this real.
Please rate us like an Uber driver at the end of this and let us know how we feel.
I'm down.
And then thoughts and comments
for a podcast episode. I am down for a impromptu double date.
That'd be hilarious.
I would have a blast because
that'd be hilarious. So, and if there's any ladies out there that are listening to this, let us know. We're down. We're down.
Yeah, we'll pay. We'll still pay. It just know it's gonna be good for a good story.
Commentary. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and don't worry, we'll leave your names out of it, unless your name is Becky.
Or Karen.
Exactly. Number 7. She pulled out a switchblade mid-conversation to slice up a passing ant. Yeah, no. Get out.
Wait, what? What?
She pulled out a switchblade mid-conversation to slice up a passing ant.
How?
No.
A switchblade is not a dicing knife. Like, how do you
like just I guess just the bug was the ant was crawling by. She's 1 second. That motherfucker's dead. Oh no. Time to go.
I just tried to imagine that. And I would say I am so sorry for whatever that in the background, guys. I'm so sorry. But yes, I can't imagine how I would react. I don't, would I nope the hell out of there, or would I be like, or would I just, I don't know, sit there?
But see, I would definitely nope the hell out of there, because again, this is a first date. She doesn't know where you live. She doesn't know anything about that.
I know, but the absurdity of what just happened, it's so absurd. I could see myself just being frozen. Like, what was that?
I'd be
kind
out.
of a thing.
I'm done. Number 8.
Number 8.
I went on a date with a guy years ago. We were in San Francisco walking around after an art show, and he just littered. I said, "Oh, there's a trash can right over there." And he just said, "So what?" and chuckled. I never saw that guy again. Yeah, sounds about right.
I mean, it's inconsiderate, it's stupid, and yeah, there was, and I would never litter in front of like anyone. Whenever I do it, it's very subtle, and after you, even if nobody's around, I feel like somebody's watching. But is that really enough? I mean, like, there had to be more to just that. You can't that. Yeah, is it stupid? Yeah. Is it kind of douchebaggery? Maybe, but is that enough to turn you women off? So he littered and chuckled, and we moved on. Like, what else did he do? If it wasn't enough for you to like not to end the date right there, because it would have said he littered, he chuckled. I said, okay, you know what? I'm not about this life, and left. You continue on with the date, I would assume. So there has to be more to this than just that. It can't just be that.
I'm the same way though. Like if we're in like a public, and I've said this before, in a public spot, and someone just threw something, on the ground, and it's like, well, that's what housekeeping is for. I'm providing
different.
work for them.
That's different. That's rude. That's rude and ridiculous. That's different. That's different. But the common littering, we are all guilty of common littering. We just typically don't do it so brazenly. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. That's like I told you, I went on that one date with this one chick, and she ordered something on the menu, right? And it wasn't what she thought it was, but that's how they make it. So she's like, "This is not what I ordered. Take it back." And he's like, "But that's what it is. You ordered it. This is what we brought you out." And if she basically said, if I take this back, it comes out of my tips, And she's like, "Well, I didn't order this. I didn't want this." And I looked at her, and I was very embarrassed. And I said, "Honey, it's a first date. Honey, it's fine. Order something else. It's fine. We'll take it to go." "Are you sure?" No, it's okay. We'll take it to go. "Honey, order something else." I made a joke out of it, but I was incredibly embarrassed. I ended up dating her for 6 months. Anyway, but the point is that's a true story, because I was an idiot. But no, that's what I'm saying. That kind of stuff is ridiculous. It's that's different. But if we were on the same beach, she tossed something out, I'd be like, "Well, that's not kind of cool, but whatever." I don't know. But that's just me.
Where are we? Oh, number 9.
Number 9.
He told me he had worms, not in a casting, fishing, or terrarium kind of way, full of internal parasites. That's TMI on a first date.
It's not just TMI. It's like what I've asked in many different podcasts. How does this come up? Where does this come up? Have you ever had lice? No, I haven't had lice, but I do have internal parasites. I have worms currently right now eating me up. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not about what he said. I need to know the full context. How did this come up? Did he just up and say, "I have worms"? Or how did the conversation get started?
Was he joking? Like, damn, you eat a lot. Like, yeah, I got worms.
I don't know. I'm telling you, there's more to that. I don't know. I just you can't just give me the punchline without the joke. You know what I'm trying to say? All punchline, anything out of context sounds terrible. But there's a reason why. Maybe she was talking about the shits she had last time. Who knows? I don't know.
Who knows? Number 10. Oh,
I'm sorry. Is this boring you?
No, sorry. I didn't have my coffee today.
Oh, okay.
At number 10, at dinner, he shared with me that he didn't believe in washing his hands after going to the bathroom as long as the toilet paper was used effectively. Hand washing was obsolete. He said all of this while licking his fingers and digging into a shared basket of appetizers. I was disgusted.
Okay. This is one of two things. Either he was joking, okay, and just messing with you, or two, you thoroughly turned him off, and he was tanking the date on purpose. That's the only way I could say this. There's no way he thought that would come on. He said hand washing is obsolete. Really? Come on.
That is,
or he was tanking the date on purpose. I'm sorry.
That is impressive.
I wish they were like holding hands when he said this to you.
That is utterly impressive. Like
he was
hand washing is absolute.
Yep. He was.
Were you gonna finish that chicken wing? Thank you.
Okay. Put your hand on your cheek lovingly and bring you in for an embrace. No, I'm sorry. No, that wasn't real. He was tanking the date or he was joking. There's no way that was done in any other way. And again, I want to be very clear. How did this conversation about hand washing come up? I've never had that conversation.
That is a random conversation.
It's a random conversation.
And he just volunteered that?
Most of these conversations that are being quoted or recited in this thing, I've never had on a first date. I've never talked about parasites. I've never talked about the hygiene like that. Like that's not something that we talk about. It's
just weird.
It is weird.
Number 11. I went out for drinks with a guy who monologued the entire time. I could barely get a word in. It was the worst.
Listen, I don't monologue. I have a discussion and you just don't have anything to say. Wait, that's not me. I mean, did you really have something to say? Did you really?
Yeah, I mean, I am curious about that. He monologued the entire time. What did he monologue about?
Exactly.
And you couldn't get a word in? Was it because you couldn't get a word in, or you didn't have a word to say?
Exactly. Was it something about something that?
And he was just trying to keep the conversation going because you had nothing to say.
I'm not saying that. That's cool that you didn't let her speak. But what I am saying though is that most women. Sorry about the phone in the background. Most women, they only answer and they don't deliver any more substance. They don't provide anything, any meat for the conversation. That's what I've noticed, is that I'll talk and I'll be asking 21 questions and after question 47, you're like, I have nothing left to ask you. You didn't steer this in any way. So if to be on his side, I have to assume that she either didn't say anything of substance, or like Manny said, he was just trying to keep the conversation going, and he just ended up talking to himself. That's all I have to say about that.
Number 12.
The date went fine, but on the drive back, he got into a road rage. He started blasting through red lights and speeding and yelling. I told him that I'm not putting my life in danger over a hissy fit from a grown-ass man. Nope.
Wow, that's a red flag. That's a very big red flag.
He started blasting through red lights, speeding and yelling. What was the purpose of it? Yeah, this is clearly an individual with anger issues.
That's anger issues. Yeah. That's a red flag. I hope you survived that and you got rid of it or whatever it was. And you know what? I would have never even poked the bear. I'd have been quiet. I'd have been rubbing his shoulders and saying, "Listen," just so I could survive, and then I would block him. What she did is she poked the bear. If he was already running through red lights and speeding and yelling, and you're gonna tell this man, I'm gonna put my life in danger because of your hissy fit. You're a grown ass man. Are you trying to die?
I'm sure she probably said it when he dropped her off.
Probably.
I'm sure she was smart enough to not say that while he
would hope. She wrote the thing, so clearly she survived the encounter. But that's some crazy shit right there. That's you go,
bad.
Girl.
That's bad.
You should have put him on blast and said, "Don't save yourself, ladies," because that's crazy.
Next, number 13. She brought her toddler. No big deal.
I have kids too. I get it. She wanted to shop for an outfit for her kid because she was doing a Christmas card family portrait later that week. It was a bit uncomfortable, but hanging out shopping? Sure, why not? Then she started holding up close to me because I was about the same size as her ex, and he was going to be in the portrait too, even though he's her ex because, the kid. Then she asked if I would try things on so she'd know how they would look on her ex. I walked off to finding the fitting room, but found my car instead and was very glad we drove off separately and I wasn't leaving her stranded. Smart man.
Wow.
I definitely would have done the same shit. Oh, you want to know how these clothes fit or look on your ex? Maybe call your ex.
I would have looked at her and said, you're joking, right? This is ridiculous. And I would have walked off. I wouldn't even done it subtly. I mean, I can't say anything about her bringing a toddler. I've had several first dates where the girls either told me or told me after that ended up bringing their kid the first time. And again, same thing. My boys are younger, and even then, I get it. To agree, most women with baby daddies don't have baby daddies that are as involved as me or Manny or Joe allegedly. So I get it. If you want to go out and live your life, this is gonna have to happen. If she doesn't tell you, that's a little something different. That's kind of off, but that's as far as I'll give her. Now, when you I went shopping actually with a girl. She lived in Naples, and she came with a kid. I knew about it, and she was coming for the weekend. Why not? First date one weekend together. It's odd with her kid, but at the same time, I get it. And we did go shopping. We went shopping for shoes, and I wasn't say I was babysitting, but I was spending more time with her kids than she was, which is interesting, very interesting. And this is after her dad, her kid called me daddy. That's another story. And again, I didn't take it in any kind of weird way. I took it as a term of endearment that she felt close enough to me and whatever. But definitely didn't go that far. If we went that far and we drove together, I'd have been like, look, we're out. I'm done. Let's leave. Or let me call you or whatever back to my place. You can drive back home. This man is special.
But he did the right thing though. He left. I mean,
he did, but I would have been more upfront, and I would have been like, listen, I'm not really comfortable with this. This is ridiculous. It was great meeting you, not bye little, junior or whatever, and I'm out. I'm gonna go. And because she's not gonna know. I don't think some women aren't socially conscious to realize what they did. So she's gonna leave there saying, oh, he was the dick. He just left me. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to knowing, that I get it. That's kind of weird. So this girl, she's telling this story and saying this guy was an asshole because he, we went together and he just left me and my kid there.
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what happened.
That's how she told the story. And that's what I'm saying is why I don't ever want a woman to be able to play victim with my actions. I want you can still play victim if you want, but at least in the back of your head, because I told you this is what you did. Whether you tell anybody else or not.
Yeah. But she's lucky the daughter was there with her, because if the daughter wasn't there and I was involved in that situation, I would have went straight to like the lingerie section and be like, hey, can you put this on? I want to know what it looks like if I bought this for my ex. Or the next bitch, because you're not her.
Ooh, thank you. Next. Ooh.
Yeah,
I didn't go that far. See, that's why Manny's not in the dating pool. He's saving you, ladies.
Yeah, you're welcome. Number 14. I'm an alcoholic. Awesome. At the time. Awesome. That's already done.
That's it. We're done.
At the time,
number 15.
Moving on. You're an alcoholic. Sorry. At the time, I had been sober for 5 years or so. The entire time, she just kept trying to nag me about it to try and get me to drink. It was really weird. I didn't see her again, and then on Valentine's Day, she sent me a long message asking how I could reject her like that. Overall, it was very uncomfortable.
I want to know, what is the difference? How long was the difference between that first date and Valentine's Day? That's one. Two, I get it. I went out last week with my homegirl, and we went to a hookah lounge, and she found the hookah lounge. And I was like, okay, cool. So you're gonna do hookah with me? She's like, no, I don't want to do it. I've never done it before. I'm like, we'll try it. I did. I negged her on for a little minute, but out of joking, after a while, it just became fun for me to see if I could even just get her to even consider it. But after a while, I stopped, and that was the end of that. So, I get the negging part. If she was doing it for fun, but alcoholism is not funny. It's not something that it's not something you can joke about. So maybe she didn't have a filter. So I assuming she was being innocent about it, that's one thing. But did he vocalize that he was uncomfortable? There's certain things you have to just vocalize, because I knew when I was annoying her about the hookah is when she said, listen, I just don't want to do it. Hard stop. I was like, okay, cool. And now the negging ended. And she carried on and hung out and had a great night and laughed and joked around. So I have to ask, did he just come out and say, listen, this is making me uncomfortable. This is not really a joking matter for me. This is a very serious thing. People don't call us alcoholics as a joke. I call myself a hookah connoisseur. That doesn't mean that I have that there's no negative stigma behind that. Alcoholism, that's crazy. So I get it, but then she sounds a little crazy when she, on Valentine's Day,
sends a long message saying,
which also means that you probably left one hell of an impression on her, even if you were feeling very uncomfortable through the entire thing. So that's kind of weird. In other words, red flag. She was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, she clearly didn't show any empathy for the shit that he's gone through in his life. Like he's battling through alcoholism.
You're right, but I have to understand. I have to ask how serious did he make it sound? I mean, yes, you hear alcoholic and you're like, oh, some women, some people in general, they don't have that social context clues or social empathy or whatever it is to be like, that's something you don't joke about. Cancer, you don't joke about. Alcoholism, you don't joke about. Certain things. You know what I'm trying to say? Like these things, you don't joke about unless there's an aura between you and them. So I wonder, maybe she didn't. All right, she didn't pick up on that context clue. Fine, but did he impress upon her how serious it was, and did she still continue to joke about it? That's when you're being disrespectful. So I don't know. I'm not saying that he should have done that. Anybody should have reacted like, "Oh, alcoholism." Oh, my next answer would be, well, is it triggering if I drink? Do you mind if I have a cocktail? Right, something like that. That's what I would have done. I actually had a date, I think. I think I did. She just stopped drinking in all generals. And I said, okay, well, I would you mind if I had a cocktail? No, it's fine. I asked. So because I like my cocktails. I only get to have cocktails when I go out socially.
He only likes cock. So
cocks with tails.
Number 15. He stared at his phone the whole time. Then after we parted, he sent a text complimenting my ass and then said we should go out again.
Well, he's a douchebag.
Definitely 100%. No, I understand. See, this is why this is a red flag here as it is.
Yes.
He was on his phone the entire time, which means you were never part of his focus. Which means, again, like you said earlier, why are you here?
Yeah. And why did you stay?
And then, and that's the other problem. Like, if he stared at the phone the entire time, this is why I say, or we've said it before, that women are looking for a free meal. Now, how did this night end? He was on his phone the entire time, but you ate, right? Who paid for it?
And he paid for it, right? And so
did he pay for it? Did you guys go? Dutch? What do they call it? Dutch. Yeah. Did you guys go Dutch?
Of course not. Of course. Why even ask that question?
Yeah, I know.
Okay. There's only one woman who's ever claimed to do that, and that's your sister.
No.
No, what? It wasn't your sister?
An ex of mine.
It was an ex who said that? I thought it was your sister. Okay. So, and I want to make it very clear that ex has never come on the podcast and tell us her story after I've asked.
She's
never happened.
She's still willing. Because
it never happened. So, but yeah, no. So we don't know that question. He paid, and so you're bitching, complaining. He was on the phone the entire time. What did you do? All right, and I hate the way this sounds, victim blaming. What did you do to gain his attention? Were you boring yourself? How about that? Was he talking and you weren't responding? You know what I'm trying to say? Like
context clues. We need them.
Exactly. I need more. I need more because. He probably knew he was getting a second date, so he said, "Your ass is looking spankable."
Just want to let you know you had a great ass.
Your ass was high grade beef. We should do this again. So no, you have to ask because again, I mean, I've been on one of the dates, one of the not best dates, but one of the best locations I've been to. Again, I told the girl, I said, "Listen, I ran out of 21 questions, 47 questions ago. Is there anything you want to know about me?" Kind of a thing, I would just call him out on it.
Boy. Number 16. He told me that he had an 8-year-old son at the end of the date and said, you don't have to worry about him though. Even though I have 50-50 custody, I don't go to see him.
So she obviously took him to bed. Do you know any women I know that have dated guys who have kids? They know they have kids, but know that they don't do for their kids and still dated them. And some of them who actually got knocked up by them, thinking, I was like, and he turned out to be a terrible dad. And I was just like, this is news. So So clearly she obviously went and like had sex with him that same night because that's how they are. I wonder why he even mentioned it then.
Yeah, like
Why even mention that?
If
and what does it matter if it was at the end of the date or not? Why does that matter? When did the question come up? Did you ask him at the beginning of the date and he said, hold that thought, and then answered at the end of the date? So when did that question come up? Or did he volunteer it? Under what context did this come up at the end of the date? That's what I'm saying. That's one. Because me now, with I think when my boys became teenagers, I stopped volunteering that information to women because they're teenagers. The stepmommy train has left the building. So if you do end up meeting my kids, you can be friends with them if you want, or you don't have a relationship with them at all. It's too late now. It doesn't matter. So, and that's how I feel, especially now that I have an 18 to 17-year-old, that's never going to be part of the conversation because they are so far removed from having anything to do with you. That's like basically saying, do you have family? Yeah, I have family. Will you eventually meet my family? And I expect you to get along with them. Absolutely. That's just their extended family now. They're still my sons, but you would have nothing to do with them other than being socially engaging if and when you meet them at some kind of family outing. We'll never take family photos together. You see what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. That's how I am now with it. So eight is still too young to be like that. But then when did this come about? That being said, you don't have to worry about him, even though I have to keep custody. I don't go see him. Jesus Christ, that's a terrible guy. Yeah, I don't know. What else do you want to say about this? Because I don't know what else I want to say about this. I just. But you know what? One thing, at least he's honest. I'll take that. I'll definitely take that, if anything. But that's weird.
Yeah, like you said, I'm sure they slept together because for him to say, "Don't worry about my son, we can do this." But the fact that he said, "I don't go to see him,"
yeah,
that right there is that's the end.
Yeah,
that's the end.
Yeah, that's awful.
Because that right there just shows that he has no interest in seeing his son or his child. So
he's no interest in being a father in general.
Yeah. So that's it. No, done there. Number 17. I once went on a first date with a guy who was clearly not over his ex. He spent the entire time talking about her, comparing me to her, and even showing me pictures of them together. It was a huge red flag for me, and it made it clear that he wasn't ready for a new relationship. Needless to say, I did not go on a second date with him.
But why did you stay? I mean, I don't understand. You didn't come to this conclusion at the end of the date. I'm pretty sure you came to this conclusion somewhere in the middle, probably in the beginning. Why did you stay? Why did you stay in the date? I'd have been like, listen, I hope it works out for you. I hope you find what you're looking for. Take care and leave. I don't understand it. Needless to say. That's
again, free meal. I have nothing to say about this. This is stupid. Like, how do you allow this to happen?
The entire time talking about her, cool.
And then feel comfortable enough to tell the story about it afterwards.
Yeah. Because this is victim mentality.
Because you look like an idiot.
I'm the victim. Because nobody's looking at this level-headed with any logic. The logic says he spent the entire time, so the whole date, talking about her. Okay, fine. So he starts talking about her. Then he starts comparing her to you. That's it. I'm ready to go home. No, you continue. He even showing me pictures, plural, of them together. You're still sitting there. I want to be nice. Why? To who? It's a stranger. You're being disrespectful. This is not what you're here for.
Yeah, exactly.
Must have been a good meal.
Yep. Next one, number 18. I went on a date with a guy who, called himself a mama's boy and said no woman would ever compare to his mother. Shit. There was no second date, and despite how many times I turned him down and said I wasn't interested, he kept calling me and texting me for 2 years until I changed my number.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, I mean, to be fair, isn't there like that meme, the way a man treats his mother is the way he'll treat his wife? You know, isn't that like a thing? So, but
Sure.
yeah, no one would ever compare to his mother. And again, I have to ask, how did this come up? You know, I went did he call himself that? Fine. Did he just say, by the way, I'm a mama's boy, and you ain't never gonna compare to my mama? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, how did that come up?
That is interesting. I don't even know. Like, first off, for anybody saying I'm a mama's boy, I'm a daddy's girl, why even offer that? That's not neat, useful information.
No, that's full disclosure.
Yeah, but you say that like later on. You don't say that on a first date, man. Like,
there's a lot of things you don't say on a first date, you know.
This is not one of them.
Yeah, that's a red flag.
And then
the fact that he kept on
calling and texting for 2 years.
Girlfriend,
there's call block.
There is.
I mean, I would understand if this was like what, 5-10 years ago, but this article was written last year.
Yeah, it was last year December.
You block somebody's info, like there's no read for. I can't even say how disgusted I am by this one. This one just annoys me.
Yeah. It's like she allowed it to happen just so she could post this on Yahoo Life.
Right, exactly. I was waiting for an article.
I was waiting for articles so I could tell this story. Now I can finally block him.
This is my life. Yes.
I bet she blocked him in November.
Oh my God. All right. Moving on. Number 19. His lunch was absolutely all over his face and hands, everywhere. He also got up thrice from the table to go to the bathroom, but came back messy each time.
Who writes thrice?
What? Somebody who this is probably like a literature like professor or like a teacher of some sort.
He got up thrice.
You can't say 3 times. You said thrice. Okay. Somebody who clearly wants it known that they have a vocabulary.
Messy each time.
Messy how?
Messy. Maybe he was unkempt. Maybe his V-neck was a U-neck. Maybe his hair was uncombed. Like, I don't know what messy. What does that mean? Like, unless you mean fecal matter all over himself. Maybe this is the same. Maybe this is like the sequel to the other one. Yeah, the one. Maybe maybe he went on a date with this person. He just learned this time. Don't talk about how you don't wash your hands.
Wow, this is scary. Yeah,
his lunch was all over his face and hands. What were you eating?
So once again, why did you stay the whole time? Like, if you came back 3 times, if he came back the first time once, I'm out. Because this is that motherfucker.
Yeah, but aren't you going to be like, hey, you have something
everywhere?
and right. Point it out. And if he chooses not to wipe it off, then you'd say, listen, hygiene is really big for me. Take care. And that's, you see what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't know.
This is horrible. And moving forward, last but not least, number 20. Went out with a girl. We hit it off well to the point that things heated up and I spent the night at her place.
Ooh.
Only to wake up to an empty house and no clothes. She had taken all of my clothes, including my underwear, with her to work. What?
Okay, no, I know what happened. What happened.
Is this a lesbian couple?
No. I know what happened. She didn't want it to be a one-night stand, but she has to go to work in the morning. No, because exactly. She didn't want it to be a one-night stand. She typically sleeps with guys on the first date and then they dip out and never hear from her again. So okay, I'm not saying this is right or wrong.
Where she could find him.
Exactly. I figured this whole thing out. So she slept with him. And she did not want it to be a one-night stand and to dip out. So she took all of his stuff with him. So when she got back from work,
he'd still be there.
There. Okay. That's what it was. I mean, it's crazy as balls, but this woman is traumatized. She's been through some shit.
Wow.
She's been through some shit. That's exactly why she did that.
So kudos to her for trying to keep him around.
Yes.
Bad for him. You're supposed to keep a go bag in your car all of the time because you never know what's. Yes, you keep a go bag in your car because you never know. Okay, what the situation is. You might have a last minute date or whatever after work. You don't want to go in your work clothes, obviously. Go bag.
I've never had a go bag. I might need to reevaluate my life. My life is a lie.
You need to have a go bag.
Never had a go bag.
I haven't had one because I don't date and I don't do stuff like that or whatever. And if I do go anywhere, I sometimes just go out in my uniform, depending on logos and stuff.
I've never just gone out like, oh, all of a sudden I'm off somewhere. Usually it's pre-planned. I don't really have any spontaneous people in my life like that anymore. Where they're like, hey Jay, what are you doing? Let's go.
It on occasion I've done that before, and I mean, again, I don't have one in my car now, but I've kept a go bag in my car just in case. Toothbrush, soap, whatever. Because the last thing you want to do is spend the night at somebody's house.
Right.
Wake up the next morning with some stank ass breath and have no way to clean it. And no way to fix it.
All right. Well, let me ask you a question. So he's naked. If he had to go back in his car, how is he gonna go to his car? You think he's gonna wrap up one of her towels or something? Like, what did you or hope she has that a night?
Yes. The bitch took your clothes. You're gonna use whatever she's got in the house to cover yourself up and go.
Okay.
All of her towels, just rub your balls in them. Just keep it going. Just pick your nose and wipe boogers all over the place. They do it. Yeah. Who cares? Or again, this article was written last year.
Right.
There are delivery services that will deliver straight to the door.
Clothes?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
I thought I could only get a Big Mac with cheese delivered.
No, they deliver anything.
That's not true. Walmart Plus. I just joined Walmart Plus.
Yes.
And it has been the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I only did it because I wanted Paramount. I just wanted Paramount access to that. I spent so much money on Walmart Plus so far because I can just scroll and pick up whatever I want. And there are certain things that I would never pick up because I'm too lazy to find it or whatever. It works. It's the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Worst thing that's ever happened to me. I spent so much money. Anyway, so yeah, it makes sense. You could just pick up a shirt and have them deliver it to you, and you're out of there. You're absolutely right. You, sir, need to fix your life, and me too, because I didn't think about any of this stuff. But here's the thing, and here's the sad part. She wants to keep. In what world did she think this would keep him around? Yeah, it would keep him around physically, but in what world did you think you were going to see this man again anyway? Jesus Christ.
This is I don't even know what to say anymore.
I can't imagine how that would. I wonder if he hit it again before he left. You're naked. Listen, don't judge me. You're naked. You got no clothes to put on. So you're probably staying in bed. So when she arrives, you're still naked in bed. Hit it again, and then like where my clothes is, and then go. You might as well.
And just go out.
You just might as well. I don't know. Yeah, he probably wrapped up in the bed sheets. That would look so funny. That's something you see on TV.
Exactly.
I'll number 21. I'll share mine. I think I've said this one before. Before we wrap up. Basically, I took her to Chili's, and she ordered I don't know if Chili still does it, the guac that they make right in front of you. Back then, I didn't like guac. Guac was disgusting. So she ordered the guac, and she just wanted the handmade guac. Didn't even want the chips. All right, I didn't even think about it. And so she started eating the guacamole like ice cream by itself. Yeah, and I looked at her and I was like, "Good guac." She's like, and it was turning me off, and it was one of those. I was actually monologuing. It looked like I think I was doing most of the talking while she was eating the guac, because if I didn't talk and I was watching her guac, I would probably lose my mind. And then when she finally started talking, she's like, she looked at me. She put the spoon down. I think she was like almost done with the guac by itself, because this is appetizer. The dinner hasn't even arrived yet. And she says, "I think I like you." And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "I think I love you." And so I looked at her and said, "How?" Just like that. I said, "We just met." And she's just like, I think I love you. And I said, I started nervously giggling because I didn't know what else to say. Needless to say, the date continued because, of course, it was me. And I had driven because back then, women still let the guy pick him up. And I continued monologuing and I ignored it. I didn't address it. And we left Chili's and there was nothing else after that. I took her home, but needless to say, I never saw her again. Never did. And it was the strangest thing that ever happened. And I think she was messing with me. It had to be. But she did it in the very beginning of the date. And I don't know what she think was going to happen. Never saw her again. I don't remember what her name is, but I'll never forget that. That's one of the funniest dates, or if not the funniest, most uncomfortable dates I've been on, was that Chili's outing with the guacamole.
I don't think I have any uncomfortable date stories.
You would have to tell it from like the 1990s. That's how long ago it's been for you.
I don't surround myself with uncomfortability. Like I don't blind date. I don't do stuff like that. Like I have to know who you are somewhat.
The law of averages is if you go on dates, you're gonna be run into one. It's either bad, awkward, or uncomfortable. That's just the law of averages.
I haven't had that.
Wow, look at you being blessed.
But then again, I don't like I said, I don't go out on dates like that. So it's
we here at Last of the Nice Guys have made it very clear that Madman is going to set up a double date just for experimental purposes. We will pay. We're going to be gentlemen, and
we'll definitely promise a good time. It'll be full of laughs.
It'll be full of laughs, but it's just for content for this podcast because it'd be really funny to see what happens on a double date. It'd be better than telling the COVID soup story over and over again.
Yes, and, we need a new story.
We need a new story. It was a good night. All things considered. Well, that's a wrap. That's what is it? The article title again? People are sharing things someone did that turned a first date into a last date. Yahoo article. So yes, the link will be below in both the podcast description and the YouTube video description. Check it out. We read it all to you basically. So there's nothing else that you really need to read. But if you want to read and make sure that what we said is true, check it out. It's there. It's there. And the comments for this actually is really, really funny. If we had time, we'd read the comments. The comments are hilarious. But that's it. No, we don't have to do any final thoughts on what's extensively a funny episode. So thanks for listening. I am Jason.
And I'm Manny.
And thank you for your time.
The Last of the Nice Guys. Follow, like, and subscribe on Twitter and Instagram at Last Nice Guys, Facebook.com/Last Nice Guys, or email lastoftheniceguys@yahoo.com.